I am happy you're here today. I made a video a couple weeks ago about how to cut your blinds. Um, Most people, when they have blinds in their house, there's a thick layer of extra blinds at the bottom that just make your blinds extra heavy. And I saw a video on YouTube about how those could be utilized as plant markers. And since I am an avid gardener and seed starter and plant maker, I have a need for these. So these are old blinds that I've chopped up, and I'm going to do that today. The video I made last time, I couldn't get the little plugs off the bottom, so it was a very big struggle, and I don't know how to edit videos, so I'm not a professional. So that window right there, I took the blinds off the top. It's laying here on my table. Here's the top of the blind, obviously. I marked the blind to go about 4 inches below the windowsill so that I knew which one to cut it to. I am going to flip the camera around. And yeah, so that's the blind that I want to take all these off. I don't know how many's here, but that's a lot, and this is heavy. So I'm going to take all of these off, and I want to just show you how to do that. So this is the metal piece that's at the bottom of your blinds, and they have these plugs in there. And I've used this, and I've destroyed these things before. They still end up working and plugging in there, but before I did the video, I pulled it out with this needle nose plier. You can actually, the way you can get it out also, I've just figured out, is just push through the bottom on the inside, push it out instead of pulling it out, because I was trying to yank it out. So what I'm going to do to start is pull these strings out, and there's a knot at the bottom. Oh goodness. Well, this blind is a small blind, so there's only 2 strings and plugs in the bottom. So I'm going to cut these knots off right there, and then I will come back. Okay, now we're back. I haven't cut the knots off yet, but I'm going to do that right now. I wanted to get the camera angle close so you could see. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the bottom knot off. Those can go in the garbage. Cut it as close to the knot as possible, because we don't want to shorten this string at all, ever. Then I'm going to take off the plug on both sides, both of those plugs, put them in a safe place. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that main string that you cut the knot off out of the metal piece on the bottom, and then you're going to slide that metal piece out like that. It comes right out. And put that to the side. Then you're going to pull that string that you cut the knot off of up to the blind that you marked that you're saving. So this is the one that I'm saving. I put a check mark on it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the string out all the way to that blind on both sides. So that's the first one. It's best to lay this down on the floor on a table like this so they don't move around while you're doing it. And then I pull the string out on the other side. So I have the string again on both sides of the blinds. And then these pieces, all these extras, these will slide right out. So I just do a couple at a time, but they slide out just like that metal piece slid out. So there's some. There's some more. And you just keep sliding these out until you get up to that one blind that you marked. And again, I told you earlier, I mark that blind about 3 or 4 blinds lower than the window sill on the wall. To hang lower than the window. I want it to be lower than the window. Alright, so I pulled all my blinds out. So these are all extra blinds that I can use for plant markers. And that's a lot of blinds. Look at that. Quite a bit, which is great because I cut some earlier this year and I thought that that was enough, and it definitely wasn't. Now you're going to see these strings. This is a part of, you know, what we just pulled each blind out of. It looks like a little ladder. You leave these on. Don't cut those yet. I've done that. I've screwed it all up. Now I'm taking my metal piece. I'm going to reinsert it in the ladder space below the other blind. So like each blind goes through one of these ladder holes, and I'm putting this in the bottom ladder hole. I hope you can see that. So the last blind that I'm keeping is in one hole of the ladder string, and then this is in the one right beneath it. So I'm doing that on both sides. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish this string through the hole in the bottom of that metal piece, because we have to fish that string back through the plugs that we put in a safe place. There. Got those. Now I have my plugs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed the string back through the plug, because that plug has to go back into that metal. So just make sure you put the plug on the right way. Then I'm going to tie a knot again at the bottom. And I tie the knot as close to the bottom as possible where I cut that first knot off. I'm going to do that on both sides. And then after you tie that knot in the bottom, I hope I can get this on camera, the piece of rope right here that the actual metal piece is going to sit on, you want to put that over the hole. I hope it's showing up. Yep. Put it over the hole, because when you push the plug back in, you want to make sure you pinch that string when you're pushing the plug back in. I hope that makes sense. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and pull the string through. It's obviously stuck into the plug now because there's a hole in the bottom of the plug. And then I'm going to put that string over the hole so that I can push the plug back through and pop it in. Let's see if I can get a close-up of that. So it looks like that. And you'll notice how that string is pinched in there too before you even pull this plug out. So you just want to mimic what you're doing to make sure it looks like when you began. I'm going to do the same thing for the other one on the other side, which is right here. So this string right here is going to go over that hole, and then I'm going to push that plug into the hole as I have that covering the hole. Give me 1 second. Okay, now that I've got it in there, you can see that I've pinched or pushed the plug back in. It's actually pinching that wire or that string. And I did that on both sides. This string is a little loose right now, but when you draw the blinds up, it's obviously going to get tight, because this is, when you pull the string to open the blinds, this is the string that shortens up. Now you can cut off this rope. I never cut this off until I hang the blinds and I make sure that they're perfect. Because if they're not, then I can add blinds if I need to and just restring it. So I wanted to show this video again because I use these all the time. And then I just take scissors and start cutting these. When I use them from plant markers, I found that it's easier to cut them at an angle. And they stab into my plants like this, way easier. Yeah, leave it up to me. I have this whole tray of something that I have no idea what it is because the marker fell out on the other plant. So I have no clue. So it's called a mystery plant. But that angle slides right down in there. And then you can also use them outside. What I'm going to do, though, when I use these markers for outside is I'm going to probably put a piece of Scotch tape over the top of this so this doesn't wash off. It is permanent marker, but I don't know if it's going to fade or if it's going to wash off in the weather. So I'm just going to put a piece of Scotch tape on the ones when I put them in the ground outside. So I just want to thank you very much for watching today. Thank you for taking the time. I just wanted to make another video about that because I kind of screwed up the first one. But at least if I give you the information, it gives you an idea on how to do it, and then you can do it and maybe mess up and learn from it, because when we make mistakes, that's how we learn. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. It is Mother's Day. It is May 10th, 2020, and we are still in the COVID stay-at-home order, and I'm gardening my butt off. So I hope you have a good rest of your week. Take care, love your mothers, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless.